Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie. I am the maker from Vet in Stitches, and welcome to a week in my life crochet blog. So if you're new here, I'm just starting out this channel, which I'm sure you could figure out by the amount of videos that I have. So I've done a couple market recaps, and now we're sitting in January of 2026. I have a couple one big market that I've applied to, and I have a couple on my list that I would like to do this year. So I'm probably gonna pare down. I didn't really do that many markets last year, but I'm gonna really focus on like big major ones instead of like smaller ones through the year, just to save my time and my sanity. So for those of you who are new, or may not have kind of watched my intro video or follow me on my other social media pages, I am a veterinarian, hence the Vet in Stitches. So I am a full-time regulatory veterinarian. I work for the state that I live in. I was in clinical practice, but I have since transitioned into that regulatory side. I occasionally will still do some like reliefing, or like in the summertime, I am a vet for certain types of horse events. So I am busy. I also have 2 young children, so we all have birthdays in January. So my birthday's at the end of this month. My older daughter is turning 6 at the end of this month, the day before me. And then our youngest is actually turning 2 on Sunday, the 11th. So we have our hands full with 2 little girls. My husband and I, we've got 4 animals in the house. We own 2 horses. I had 2 different barns. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on. So being gone like lots of different weekends, like with all the other stuff I have going on weekends, just isn't super feasible. So I am being a little bit more intentional maybe about what markets I'm going to be applying for and signing up for in 2026. So that being said, there's not necessarily, I don't know how this year is going to pan out, but I may not have a ton of like market recaps to do. So today and like this video is going to just more focus on like coming along with me through my life. So I plan on showing you a bunch of the stuff that I was able to do just for fun after I got all my Christmas orders out. So we're sitting like in early January. It's currently January 7th. So I'm going to be showing you those things and going through like what I made and colors and things like that I used. And then I do have a couple custom orders that I'll be doing, as well as needing to restock like all 3 stores that I have my stuff in right now, and just kind of making a plan. Like I'm still trying to like clean up and figure out stuff from 2025 and then make that plan moving forward for 2026. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. So thank you so much for clicking on my video. Please like and subscribe so that you get updates for when I upload a new video. Share if you think that other people would like my content. I would love to like network with you and get my name out there a little bit. This is a very, very new process for me, and so having people get eyes on my videos is going to be really important. So I appreciate any sort of sharing and interaction that you can give me. But yeah, so we will get started on doing some different updates and going through some different makes, and yeah, so I'll see you in my next update. Good afternoon, everybody. So let's see, it is Friday of the same week. I didn't check in yesterday because it's been a long first week of the year. So I don't know that I even like updated in the last, like in the initial video, but yeah, I'm trying really, really hard to do like more horse time this year. And so I went out on Sunday with a friend and my horse spooked and sent me flying a couple feet. Like his butt hit me and I went flying, but he hit my friend in the head somehow, like right here. And so I had to end up taking her to the ER. She's good. She's fine. She has a mild concussion and a very, very good bruise. It's real ugly. And now she has a really nice shiner too. But, and then her like wrist hurts and obviously like her neck, like the muscle kind of soreness, but thank God, no fractures, no bleeding, nothing like that. So that was not a very fun way to start out horse time for the year. And then I went out Wednesday because the farrier was going to be there to do, to trim his hooves, and the barn owner backed into my truck with her four-wheeler and the liftgate was down, and so it really crunched, like really crunched the front of my truck. And that truck is our only car right now because the other thing that happened is that my husband has been let go from his job. That technically happened in December, but he had like a company car that we could use for personal use. That was like one of the benefits. But that's gone. So now all we have is my truck. Luckily it's still drivable. We're in the process of getting like insurance to look at it and get a quote, and then it's going to get paid for, from the other person's insurance, but still like not something I wanted to deal with. And then my almost 2-year-old, she turns 2 on Sunday. I don't even know how that's possible. She is being treated for another ear infection. Her tubes are falling out. She got tubes put in last spring. So she got another ear infection. So she's on antibiotics and she didn't really eat dinner. What night was that? That must have been Wednesday night. So the same night that my truck got crunched. And then she puked all over the floor. And then the next morning my dog puked. So it's been kind of fun over here. Yeah. But anyway, it's Friday afternoon now. My computer is restarting for work, so I just figured I would do like a little quick little update. The cat is singing the song for people. But I have to wrap some birthday gifts for my 2-year-old. And then I know I promised you guys I was gonna go over all the patterns I made like over kind of this break time, like things that I just wanted to make, patterns I've had in my stash that I haven't made yet. I made a couple of those, so that's been nice. But that's not what this one's gonna be, of course. This is, I need to wrap gifts. I'm gonna listen to a webinar while I do that, but I need some place to work, and I'm gonna turn the camera around to show you the state of my office and what we're gonna do first. So here's what we're talking about. So I got a pile of stuff over there. This isn't too bad, but this is really like getting a little out of hand. So I just, so I'm gonna put this away, and like my 5-year-old like unmade the bed and was like cuddling up in it while I was working one afternoon. So I have to do that. Here's the pile of stuff I was gonna go over with you. But we're gonna put all of this yarn away on my still semi-organized shelving unit. So yeah, we're gonna do this so that I can then wrap the 2-year-old's birthday gifts. Hello everybody, it is afternoon on that same day. So I just finished up all the work stuff I need to get done. So I'm having like, I don't know if you'd call it decision paralysis or if it's just like Friday afternoon paralysis, but I'm like, I don't really know what to do right now. So I thought I would come. I promised an update on like what I worked on over the holidays when I finally got to do like just stuff I wanted to do. So I thought I would come on and just quick share those things. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then pretty quick here, I'm gonna have kiddos in the house, so then we'll see what happens the rest of the evening. I did get the birthday presents wrapped. Tomorrow we're probably going into town to actually do something for the 2-year-old's birthday. We're unsure what that's gonna be yet, but it'll just be the 4 of us. But yeah, things always get a little chaotic when they come home, so now is kind of the best time for an update. So without further ado, this actually I made this last week. But so I do have a couple current orders. One of my coworkers ordered 4 things. So she ordered a mini squirrel. She ordered a penguin plushie, a dinosaur plushie, and then a derpy tiger. So I have everything done except for the derpy tiger, and my crazy brain was like, I have a derpy tiger in stock. Great. No, I don't. I sent it to the store and I just got my like monthly report and it sold. So I have to make a derpy tiger. But the rest of her order is done. So we've got the little penguin. This is Pen Penguin, so it's the mini Pen Penguin from, oh my gosh, Mama Made Minis, but it's the plushie mod. So the only thing I change with this pattern is that I always find that if I use like 8mm hooks and then I have to stuff something, that it's really gappy. So I usually size down my hook. Like, so if it calls for an 8mm hook, I'll use a 7mm. If it calls for a 7, I tend to use a 6.5. So that's really the only change I made with him, is that it was a 7 and a 6.5mm hook rather than 7 and 8s. So we've got some sort of gray from Bernat Blanket, fog from Premier Basics Chenille, and then the black from Premier Basics Chenille, and Vintage Way from Bernat to make him. And then the other 2 things that I have done for her order are over here. The squirrel I've had done for a while. This was actually, this is by, she's like Naughty Hookers on Instagram, but it's like Naughty Creations 518 on Etsy. She'll be linked below, but she has these little worry animals. And I bought these for the December Get Stitchin' event that's hosted by Oddball Crochet. And I had wanted to do more of them, but this is the only one I got done in December. But it's a little squirrel baby. And I used faux fur. I did double strand it with some extra baby bear that I still had, just so that I could see the stitches. But I think it turned out, okay. So this is gonna go for her order, and I embroidered his eyes. And then the dinosaur is done as well. So again, this is Dozer Dino from Mama Made Minis, but the plushie version with the bobble stitch spikes, which I'm never sewing on 7 spikes again. I won't ever make it if I had to do that. So I absolutely love the colors she chose. So this is like an emerald green from Bernat Blanket. I'm truly trying to just stash bust this color, because when I rebuy an emerald green, it'll be from Premier Basics. And then this is the lime or key lime Premier Basics Chenille. But super happy with how he turned out. I just love the puff stitch toes for this pattern modification. So again, I have a derpy tiger to make for her, and then her order is completely done. I guess as long as we're doing my current orders, I do have an Etsy order for a custom horse. So this individual reached out to ask if I would be able to have it done in time for a baby shower in February, and I said, of course, that would be totally fine. She asked if I could guarantee it could be there for the baby shower, and I said, I can't guarantee anything with shipping, but I can guarantee that I will have it crocheted and sent to you. So, but I always do tracking and stuff like that. So, anyway, she got a kick out of that. But her horse is like a paint, like a really light buckskin paint. I have to get her permission, but if I do get permission, I'll put a picture of him over here. But this is the plushy version of Palin Pony from BK Crochet. I absolutely love this pattern. I make this pattern all the time. This is my favorite pattern to customize to look like somebody's horse. So I basically get pictures of the horse and then like do the color changes. I've seen other people that will do like custom horses, but they do like felt for like the different white spots. I crochet it. I crochet everything. So I tell them it's not, you know, like gonna be like a complete replica, but it's gonna be the closest I can get with the big thick yarn, and people have been really happy with these, and I really love making them. So I literally just finished crocheting him today, and so I just have to do all the finishing work, but I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. So those are my 2 open orders right now, and then everything else has just been like kind of doing what I feel like making. I did, when I was home for Christmas, my mom and my sister, I'd be like, what should I make now? And so like some of the stuff that I made was like their suggestions, which was kind of fun because I know I wouldn't have done that otherwise. And that is this first guy. I made a little like chunky little pig, and I'm pretty happy. His eyes look like not, when you look in the camera, his eyes look really off center. That's really weird because they don't really look like that when you look at the plushie, so I don't know what's happening. But anyway, he's cute. This is like, I might write this up and like just post it as like a little free pattern. I know I've seen other people with some like little chunky pigs, but I like literally just made him up. So honestly, I'd never seen a chunky pig until I made him, and then all of a sudden my phone is like, oh, you were talking about chunky pigs, here's some chunky pig patterns. And so of course that's how it happened. But so I literally just made him up. I may end up writing him up again. My one of my New Year's one of my New Year's resolutions is to be better about getting stuff that I write up out for the world instead of just having like 7. I think I literally I have at least 7 patterns right now just sitting there that I've made that I'm pretty happy with. I might need to make them 1 or 2 more times, but I just have to get them like formatted and then out to testers and whatever. But yeah, so maybe I'll do him, kind of like my other pig. My God, Allie. Anyway, before I get too depressed, here we go. Gonna move on. We'll go this way first. So then this is a pattern that I've had in my stash for forever. And I just hadn't made it yet. And so I definitely know it won't be the last time I make this pattern because it's darling. It's Itty May the Elephant from BK Crochet. My family helped me choose the color scheme for him with what I had brought when I was traveling. And oh my gosh, he's so cute. I love him so much. I'm pretty happy with how his eyes turned out, and just, I love the color combo. So yeah, I really like him. I basically like all of Brandy's patterns. Like, I should really join her Patreon, but I haven't joined anybody's Patreon yet, but she would be the first one I would do. Anyway, so I made a May the Elephant because my mom loves elephants, and so she asked if I had made an elephant. I was like, wait, I have the perfect pattern I haven't made yet. So I made this. And then there's like one other thing before I get into things that are the same. Then I tested this pattern way back when, and now I'm gonna forget who makes it, but it'll be linked below. But it's a little hatching butterfly. Why can't I think of her name? That's annoying. Anyway, it's a little hatching butterfly. So it comes in this chrysalis that you crochet. So it's like one of those sensory things that everybody loves. So he hides in there, and then you can take him out, and he's a beautiful butterfly. So I embroidered eyes on this one. Anyway, like I said, I tested this pattern last summer, and I haven't made one since last summer. These guys sold so fast when I had them at the market. So kind of to prepare for springtime, I thought I would make a couple more. So I have this one, and I was like stash busting. Like, all of this stuff is Posh except for the blue is Parfait Chunky. And I'm trying to like streamline what I have on hand for yarn. I don't use a lot of like this size 5. So I'm trying to get it to where it's all Parfait Chunky and use up the rest, because I just don't use it a lot, but I use it for things like this and a lot of the minis. Yeah, so I was stash busting, and that's why he has a yellow shiny light up butt, because I ran out of purple, but I thought it was fun. So I have this one made, and then I think that, oh no, my dog is barking. If you hear that, I thought maybe I had a kiddo that came home, but that'd be like 15 minutes early, so I don't know what that is. I do have one other body made with safety eyes for this one. And this one's gonna have orange wings, so I made this one kind of like a monarch, but I just don't have it finished yet. It's crocheted, it just has to be sewn together. That's the thing. These are crocheted in, like you surface crochet the antenna, and then you make the wings separately, and you do have to sew those on. That's really the only thing. And then I've been obsessed with Fable Friends. So I made Fable Friends. Yeah! Look at all the Fable creatures. So if you've lived on a separate planet, all of these are by Oak and Marlowe. But oh my gosh, you guys, they're like so fun to make. I love them. So again, I'm doing this mostly as like market prep for spring markets. I have one that I'm really, really hoping I get into that will be huge. I have a list of like stuff like, okay, if I could, like, let's just make a list of how many and what items I would want to have at that market. We're just assuming, you know, like we're just going to go on the assumption that I'm going to get into the market. I might not, but I'm hoping that I will. Anyway, so I made like a whole list, and it includes like a lot of these with accessories, but I've just been really happy with making the animals, so that's what I did first. So I have a full-size Beth Bunny, and most of the big ones I did crocheted eyes or embroidered eyes, but then I did the full-size ones first, and then I started doing some babies. So there's a mix of like, some of them have safety eyes, some of them have embroidered eyes. I want to have a good mix just because some people prefer, you know, one over the other, and then I wanted, you know, to have baby safe options as well. So I have a little a Beth Bunny. I did not make her in overalls because I made a dress. So this is actually the modified Finn Bear like bee suit that comes with that pattern, but then I modified the end of it to put the ruffled edge on it. I do not own the Prim Bunny pattern. I like the upright ears, so I didn't see the need to have two different bunny options at this point. I chose to like buy other things, but so I made her without the overalls because I want to give people options. So I do have one little dress made, and that's the first time I'd made a dress. I wanted to try it out, so I have one of her, and then I do have a baby Beth Bunny with safety eyes, and again, no overalls because I was going to do some different accessory options. Both of these are Bernat Blanket speckle yarn, in like whatever the cream one is. And then this one is Dapple Shadow. It's like the gray version. I use this a lot for horses too, but I thought it would be a cute bunny. And then this is the like bright purple color from Premier Basics Chenille. And then I have one Tilly Kitty done. And again, she's that same cream that the bunny is. And then I did her in black, and I kind of modified the like calico pattern, but just did like tricolor, because I kind of thought she kind of looked like a bit of a dilute calico with the cream color. So I have one of her, so she's really cute. What else I got here? I have a puppy, and now Marley dog, the pug modification with the little down ears. So I thought he was cute too, full size. And then I do have the Frenchie modification, but a baby, Fable baby. So he might be one of my favorites. I really, really like him, but I also think Frenchies are adorable, so I like Frenchies. And then I just recently had gotten the, like the woodland creatures mod. And so I think I've made one of everything now, but so I have a baby size fox. And I didn't do the ear tips just because I find it really annoying to do the color changing and then having more ends to sew in. And I still think he's really cute, and I'm way more likely to make him again without those color changes. So that's just my personal preference. I'm just don't. I'm just not going to do it because it drove me nuts. The more sewing and stuff like that I have to do, the very much less likely I am to make something again. But here's my first fox, and I did do the color changes on him, and he turned out cute. The ears gave me a bit of a struggle. This was actually the first one that I did, and I really struggled with his ears, like over and above the color changes, but I do really like him. The other thing that I modify with these patterns is that I crochet in if they have a tail, and I crochet the arms in. Again, I hate sewing. I hate it so much. I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm not going to make the pattern again if there's too much sewing. So I'm willing to sew the ears on. That's fine with me. But I'm not willing to sew 2 ears, 2 arms, and a tail on for every single time I make this. And so that's just what I've been doing. But so he's really cute. This one is in terracotta, pumpkin spice, something like that from Bernat, and then taupe for the feet, with like I think this is actually the winter white from Premier Basics Chenille. And then this guy's in Mystical, the Bernat Blanket Mystical and Canyon with a gray, and then the Premier Basics Winter White for the face and the tail. And then I made 2 Fin Bears. So I made a light blue and a light pink. I thought these ones would be super cute for like little baby colors. I'll make like one in teddy bear or caramel, I guess. But I thought these ones were really cute. So these are full size. Really, really like those. And then I have 2 Brie mouses. Yeah, whatever. So here is my first one. So she is again the full size one. I had 2 of these at my market in December, and they both found their homes at that market. So definitely like a popular one, just like everybody says. Everybody loves this one. So I did the traditional so she's Fog from Premier Basics Chenille, the Winter White from Premier, and then this is that Dried Flowers from Bernat. That's really pretty. So I really, really love how she turned out. I plan on making a couple more of her, but one of them will go in a book buddy with the Angelina ballerina, but she matches the color pretty well, so it might be her. Who knows? We'll see. That's a couple months away. And then my last make that's actually finished, I have like a whole bin of stuff that's like not stuffed and doesn't have eyes and whatever, but my last of like completed makes is a baby Brie mouse. And I gave her safety eyes, but dude, this is like the cutest. Like just, it's just so cute. So this is, I think it's Bubblegum from Premier Basics, and then whatever that bright purple is again. And then this is Mushroom from Premier Basics chenille. So that pretty well wraps up the things that I have made. Well, I guess I have one thing over here, and then I promise I'll like stop yapping at you guys. But last year at Valentine's Day, I released a like pattern pack that the animals like could hold a heart, and then you could like stuff like chocolates or a gift card or something. That pattern has not been very popular. Not that any of my patterns are popular right now, but that one in particular hasn't really gotten a lot of traction. And then I had designed that one with like the size 5 yarn, and I wanted something that was like a little faster to work up. And I wanted to change some things that I had done on it. So I ended up like kind of starting over, but like keeping some things. Like I wanted it to be able to sit and whatever. So I've made a dinosaur with this before, and then I've made a bear, but then I changed, like I didn't love the head. So then I changed it again. So this is the newest iteration of my patterns. Right now I'm just calling these the Bitty Stuffies, but it'll be long gone by the time this video comes out. But he's being named off of an Instagram story. So right now the two top contenders are Lovey Bear, which is my 5-year-old's submission to the naming contest, and then the other top contender is Barry Gibb, so BearyGibb, like the guy from the Bee Gees, and that is my husband's doing. But those two, those are the two top contenders right now. Lovey Bear is winning, and I'm okay with that name. I think he's really cute. The heart is removable, so if you just want like a cute little teddy. And then he does, see if I can move this down. He does sit, mouse. So he does sit on his own. And he's got like, oopsie. He's got his little tail. And that's crocheted in. I might try to fix that later and make it, sorry, he's surface crocheted. I might try to fix that later and make it a crochet him in. But I'm pretty dang happy with how he turned out. I might change the arms just one more time too, but the store that I sell stuff at here in town wanted some like Valentine themed plushies and some bears and stuff like that. So that's where he's going to be going. Yeah, but hopefully, again, this is one of those things where it's a pattern that I've been working on off and on like for 6 to 8 months, and I just haven't done anything with it. But if I want to do something with him, I gotta get him like going, because if I'm gonna do Valentine's Day accessories, that is gonna be here before we know it. But anyway, so that's the last thing that I have worked on here recently. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get my daughter from the bus stop, and I will try to check in probably one more time before calling it a wrap on this crochet vlog. So I will see you guys in the next update. Say hi, Cassian. Hey. Hello, friends. It has been a couple of days, I think, since I checked in, but I promised in the last clip of me that there would probably be one more update before I called a wrap on this vlog. So that's what we're gonna do. I apologize for this weird, like, glowing sideways me that you're seeing over here. If you can't tell, I'm in a hotel. So today is Monday, the 12th of January, and I'm traveling for work. It was a very long day. I didn't get here until 8 p.m. So it was a very long day and I am tired. So what I had been planning on doing tonight, like in the hotel, it's completely blown up, but that's fine. I'll get to that. But anyway, we had a good weekend. My younger daughter turned 2 years old on Sunday, so yesterday. So we were in town and we had lunch, and then we went to an indoor playground that my girls really like. And so you saw some clips of them getting their wiggles out and having some fun. And then I had a really nice session earlier in the week too with Cassian after all of the troubles I'd had at the barn. We did have a really nice session. I rode for like 2 minutes maybe. I haven't been on him in a hot minute, which I'm not gonna put myself down for it because it happened and now I'm trying to restart it. But anyway, we had a really nice session. So it was like it was good. I was like, okay, this is gonna be fine. But he wanted to say hi to the camera, so I thought that was cute. Yeah. So I have a couple things that I worked on over the weekend that I'll show them in probably the next vlog, because I did not bring them with me to show you on my little trip here for work. But what I was going to do tonight is I brought my whole bin of like things that are not stuffed and sewn together and whatever. I was gonna like do some finishing work. But when I parked my car in the parking lot of the hotel and it was 8:10 p.m. and I hadn't eaten dinner yet and I was hangry and cold and I wanted to get out of my work clothes, which I actually still haven't done. Anyway, I didn't feel like carrying that bin in. And I said, that's fine because it's already 8:10 and I haven't eaten and all this stuff. So I just brought in my thing of yarn. And the yarn that I brought was to make a whole bunch of ducks. So I'm gonna work on, I started a Della duck last night, a baby Della in birch, and I got the head and the body done. So I'm gonna work on that one. And then I did bring all of the colors I need to do some mallards. I'm completely out of mallards for both the Della duck and the little chubby duck that I do from Cozy Friend Creations. So I figure I'll just, not so much batch make per se, but I'll just crochet and just relax. I do have a couple orders that I need to work on and I have those in that bin outside. So if I get up early tomorrow morning, maybe I'll go down and get it, but otherwise I still have like the rest of this week in the evenings and then, the weekend probably to work on that stuff. So I should be like, they're crocheted. Again, it's just all the finishing work that has to be done. So shouldn't take me too long. So yeah, tonight I'm just gonna kind of relax and do some crocheting on some patterns that I haven't done for a little while. I did find out, so I think in some of my last clips, I was talking about a big market that I applied for that's juried. So you either, you get in or you don't, and it's kind of based on like your application and then how many applicants they had in like that category. So I was supposed to find out no later than the 10th of January, and I waited and I waited and I waited, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. It's like 9 p.m. I haven't gotten an email. But then the email came and I was waitlisted. So that's a bummer. It's okay, like it's fine. They do say that they take people in off the wait list every year, but like there were 133 applications for 70 spots. So like it's a big market. And there were a lot of people. So I have no idea. They don't really do a number system for the wait list. It's more like they have a wait list per category, but they don't tell you like what number you are in that category even. So like you have no real way of knowing like how likely it is. But they say that they will call people off the wait list like up until like up and even including the week of the market. But then it's up to you. Like you obviously don't have to do it like because they understand that like you might have made other plans. So now I'm kind of trying to like, well, what do I do now? I've been like sort of planning with the intention of like really hoping I got into that market because it's a 2-day event and it was not quite the same organizers, but like kind of the same organization as the last market that I did, which if you haven't watched that video of my recap, like go back and watch it. It was my best market ever. Like I go through all my sales and like what sold and how many and things like that. But so I was really hoping to do that one because I knew it's going to be like a big market. But so I don't know if I'll look for another one for the spring or if I'll just work on, like I do still have to restock the 3 stores. Well, that's not true. I brought stuff to Unglued yesterday when we went up to Fargo anyway. And then I brought stuff to the place in town this morning before I left town. So it's just my wholesale place and she usually puts in an order. So I have to reach out to her and see if she wants to like order specific things that I could start making because it would be a good time to do it because I don't have to like really get into market prep right now because I do not have a market to prep for. Anyway, so I'm kind of thinking like maybe I'll just continue to like prep as though I'm gonna do some markets or a market this spring. And if I don't, like I know that like I could stock the stores maybe a little bit more full than I was able to keep them last year. So, and maybe this is my sign that I'm supposed to work on all the patterns that I'm supposed to be releasing and working on that I told myself was my New Year's resolution. So yeah, maybe the universe is telling me something. So yeah, so tonight I'm going to just work on some ducks and have some fun. I did actually, what I might do, I did bring yarn to make another one of my Lovey Bears. And I am part of it's a spring stash bust that started last year that then we just continued the chat ongoing because it's been like a nice little community on there. That was hosted by SS Squared Creation, Jess over there. But she posted like some stash bust color palette inspiration things like for some like holiday makes and stuff. So I really liked some of them. And so I picked out some yarn this morning to make a kind of like a pastel rainbow Lovey Bear. So I might work on that tonight because that sounds like fun too. Yeah, so it's going to be just kind of a chill night here in the hotel. And then I have some work stuff to do tomorrow and go home tomorrow afternoon, get there like early evening probably. So yeah, I will check back in probably, I don't know if it probably won't be tonight. It might be tomorrow morning just to show you what I was able to get done in the hotel. And then we're probably gonna be pretty close to wrapping this vlog up. So I'll see you in the next check-in. Okay guys, I figured I'd come on and just really quick show you. I did in fact decide I'm gonna do another Lovey Bear. I really do need to take some like pictures. I don't know if I'm gonna have good enough lighting in this hotel room, but that's really the only thing the pattern is waiting on. It's pretty well like formatted and whatever. I worked on that last night, but I figured I kind of wanted to try this Rainbow Bear. So again, the lighting isn't super good. I'm in a hotel room, but we've got Baby Blanket, Baby Lilac from Bernat Blanket, and then this is Premier Basics Chenille in Caribbean, Bernat Baby Blanket in like baby blue, I think is what it's called. Yeah, baby blue. This is Premier Basics Chenille, and I'm pretty sure it's bubblegum. And then this is Birch from Bernat Blanket. So it was kind of like a vanilla cupcake. I don't know if you'd call it a prompt, but I'll put a picture up here of the color palette that I was working off of. So right now my plan is to do a purple leg and a Caribbean leg, and then a pink and a blue arm, and have the body and the head, I think, be in Birch. And then I'll come up with what color I want the ear, but I'm kind of toying around with doing this color again just because they'll be like farther away, like up on the body. So we're gonna see what it looks like, but I will check back in with my progress. Hello. So it is the same evening. I just thought I'd give a little bitty update, and probably end the video is I think what I'm gonna do, because I have this whole project finished. So I think this is gonna be a good ending spot. Anyway, I showed you the color scheme I was gonna do for a Lebby Bear, and I was able to start and finish him tonight. So it's like just after 11 o'clock, and he's actually been done for a little while. I was just kind of like chilling after that. So he works out pretty quickly. It takes me like an hour-ish to do the bear, maybe a little bit longer if you have, if you're gonna embroider the eyes, but if you use safety eyes, then it's not, that saves. For me, those take me 5 to 10 minutes each, with the 2 different colors. But anyway, so they're pretty quick, and that was kind of my goal, is I wanted something that could be a little bit of a sizable plushie, but not like take, over an hour or so to do. So I will turn the camera around and show you what we turned out like, because I am pretty happy with him. Here we are. So the nose kind of got a little bit big, but I think that works for a bear. I've done them a couple different ways now, like this big old embroidered on nose, or I've done ones like with a little nose right across, and I like them both ways, but I wanted to give this one kind of a little comical nose because it's kind of a cute little like clown type bear. So we've got the purple and pink for the ears and the legs, and then the Caribbean and the baby blue, and then I needed something for his little crocheted in tail, so I used the Caribbean. Yeah, so I'm like pretty happy with how he turned out. The nose, I was gonna use black, and then I realized that the black was in the car, because it was, I only brought it to do a custom order, and then I was like, well, the bear's pretty light, and so I thought caramel looked good, so that's what it is. It's Premier Basics Chenille in caramel, and then these are 18 millimeter safety eyes. But again, the nice thing about this pattern is it sits on its own, and I think it's pretty cute. So I'll make some sort of a heart for this one when I get home. I don't know if I want to do like a yellow or a different color, or if I should do white, but I wasn't going to make it tonight just because I wanted to play around with a couple options. So, but that's how we turned out, and I'm super, super happy with him. So with that, I am going to end this vlog, because otherwise it could just go on forever. So if you made it this far, like seriously, thank you for watching my channel and giving this a chance. I know it's a little, like, I don't know, unorthodox to be sitting here in a hotel bed and I crocheted, and now I just showed you what I made, but I appreciate it, and this is my life. So that's what I'm here to document. This is my real life, you guys. So if you made it this far, I really, really appreciate it. Please, please, please like and subscribe. Again, this is kind of a new endeavor for me, and I'm just starting out, and so any sort of traction that I can get is so, so appreciated. If there are questions about anything, feel free to drop me a comment down in the box below. If you made it this far and you can comment, that really helps me too. Why don't you comment what color heart you think I should make for this Lovey Bear? Again, I was thinking like a baby yellow or a white, but if there's another color that you think would be a really good one, I am all ears. So drop a comment down below. Yeah, again, like, subscribe, any shares, like tell other people about my new vlog. That would be so awesome. I just really appreciate it. It's been really fun to just kind of chat with you guys, and yeah, get to kind of share day in the life and the things that I'm making and doing on a day-to-day basis. So thank you all again, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.